Well, I'm at the range with new gear, and I don't know if this is going to be an exciting night or an absolute disaster. I've got a new rifle scope, a Rickstorm S6. I've got a new spotter to work with, a Pocket K3, and I'm also using some new ammo. I picked up some Sabre Blade Black Tip 123 grain ammunition from Palmetto State Armory. Now, some people think this is going to be Hornady SST 123 grain bullets. I don't know what they are for certain, but I'm going to be shooting them out of my TX-15 Multi-Purpose Carbine Enhanced from Lone Star Armory. And Carpe Sus, I've just driven onto the property. I'm in my parking area, and I've got hogs less than 100 yards away from me. So here's a pic from the last video showing where I parked. The hogs right now are directly behind where I'm standing by about 75 yards or so. And this is video from my rifle with the Rickstorm S6 thermal weapon sight. It is 640 resolution. 2-power native magnification with up to 4x digital zoom. Now, I was a big fan of the Rickstorm S3. It's a 384 resolution thermal weapon sight. I thought it worked really well, but the Storm S6 with 640 resolution is just so much better. So I sped up the video here. I'm just scanning all the hogs, and I don't really have a shot at any of them because of all the foliage that's in the way, so I'm going to try changing positions, trying to find a more viable shooting solution on any of these hogs. Well, I wasn't hoping to start with piglets, and I don't have a clear shot on any of them. I can see there's a mass of them there, but telling heads and tails is a little difficult. When this, I think a sow walks up, perfect shot here. She goes down. I hit that runner. Hit it a second time in the backside, and it makes it off camera. I can't shoot any further to the left because of the oil tanks. And so that's it. So I go back to the truck to get my scanning gear, and I happen to look up, and there are hogs on the west side right now. Hit the first hog. I should not have taken that shot. I didn't have a clear shot on any of the hogs. That's the hog that I wounded previously with the first shot. Hit it a second time. I don't see any of the runners in the distance. And my original hog makes noise. And I shoot it a third time. It's quiet, and they're done. And it's 9:29, and 3 minutes later, more hogs just come bebopping out of the foliage like there's nothing going on right now. I dropped the first one, missed with the second shot, hit him broadside here. Now check this out. He's gushing pretty good, or she's gushing pretty good, makes a final hop and is down. Got a thermal blood trail left behind that's quickly fading. And after a few minutes scanning the field,
oh boy,
nothing is visible. And now I get the Ricks Pocket K3 thermal spotter out of the truck. It's a 384 resolution, 2x native magnification with up to 4x digital zoom. Well, doggone. And I've got hogs in the distance. They're out there less than 200 yards. They're partially covered in foliage. There they go. This is the stuff that I'm looking through and where I'm looking for my hogs that are down. I didn't find anything on the east side or the west side.
So this stuff is thigh high.
I started off my search on the west side because I knew it'd be brutal and I wanted to do my search when I was fresh.
I'm walking to tripods set up at each end as my markers to do transects.
It's a great idea, but I didn't find squat on that side. On the east side, I found this massive bedding area, and there's actually several sections to this bedding area. I've only got pictures of 2 of them, but there were 4 or 5 areas like this where they'd really knocked down the foliage. And I finally did find my opening hog. It wasn't a sow as I thought. It's a 200-pound boar. And without any help of the vultures, I did not find any other hogs on that property. From the corner fence, I stated where I was standing so that I would know where I recorded the video so that I could then go back and compare where I was recording from with a map to give a distance on how far away the hogs are. Here we've moved up across the field, just showing the weather. The wind is my favorite at this point, so I'm not worried about the wind. Using the trees in the foreground to help block some of my advance towards the hogs. Although the hogs are spread out quite a bit, I'm not covered from all of the hogs, but they're not taking any notice of me. At this point, I've moved up to the fence line between the two fields, so I'm peering from one field into the next. And I'm going to be shooting from this side onto the opposite side. And here I'm going to nerd out again for just a minute. When looking at images, when you've got a 2-power native magnification scope, you expect the image to be a certain size. It's 2-power, and you would think that would compare well with other 2-power scopes. And that isn't the case on the recorded image, and it's not even necessarily going to be the case on the display image. I'm going to talk about the recorded image here. Look at the size of the pigs there versus with the Storm S6. Here you've got a larger 2-power native magnification image. I like this image a lot better. You can see more detail with it. I think the S6 is probably punching a little bit above its weight class. And for a bargain price scope, that is outstanding. And I like having a bigger image because it makes it easier to shoot the hogs. Now I'm not going to go through and do the awkward thing of trying to hold my cell phone up just exactly correct position behind the scopes in order to get the images through the scope for you. I can tell you the Storm S6 does have a larger image than the Pocket K3. Pretty much as you see with the recorded video. Alright, after looking at my choices and given how well I did with recovery of the hogs from the last hunt, I'm going to take a more sure thing and take a close hog. Here we go. It goes down and the hogs start to the left, and then they cut back to the right, which completely throws me. I'm behind on the first shot. I connect there. And I've got 2 hogs down, and I left the wounded hog that you see off to the right. So I'm trying to pick up this hog. I hit it a second time, open it up. And my previous wounded hog is going to disappear down into the creek. Let's start on this one. I take a shot. I think that's behind it. Foliage is in the way. No shot there.
Cows.
And then cattle are in the way.
Way too many cows. And I lost it.
So instead of having 4 hogs down, I only see 2. Give that one an unnecessary quality assurance shot, but it was still moving around quite a bit. To my surprise, these hogs are not nearly as large as I thought. The first hog ended up being a 35-pound male shote. The next hog recovered was a 40-pound gilt. Then it wasn't until the next day that I recovered 2 more hogs. One that had gone down into the creek, didn't get far once it was down in the creek. And then one that I also thought went into the creek that spilled out its guts was actually just on the bank. Alright, next property. I've got a hog out in the open. The landowner's complained about hogs doing some destruction to his property, and I've seen a pair of hogs here previously. I think this may be one of the pair. I'm not sure how far away it is. Tell me if you think this hog is bigger or smaller here versus where it stops. Here we go. First shot connects nicely. I think the third shot was a definite miss. I'm not sure about the second shot. The hog is going down.
There we go.
Another finisher into it. He's down at 190 yards. Was he smaller or larger before he went down? Meaning, was he further away or closer, do you think? And off in the distance, believe it or not, that's going to be his buddy. Little skunk in the foreground running, but in the distance, the hog is going to be somewhere between 550 and 625 yards away. I did go after him, but I did not catch him. The hog down turned out to be a 230-pound boar.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
Now I only found 2 wounds, but I didn't check the back end. There on the left-hand side, you can see the exit wound from the opening shot. And the X is going to mark where I found the bullet underneath the skin. The first shot entered 3 or 4 inches low, which is about what you would expect for a 200-yard shot. That shot was through and through, going through the heart, and there is no recovery for that bullet. The second shot at 190 yards was high on the neck, and I believe we do have the bullet recovered underneath the skin. This shot of the Sabre Blade Black Tip 123 grain bullet at 190 yards entered the top of the neck and a top down, quartered toward attitude, going through muscle, hitting 2 spinous processes on the thoracic vertebrae before continuing down alongside the shoulder and stopping underneath the skin in the fascia between the skin and the muscle. The expansion of the bullet looks about like what you would expect for a Hornady SST bullet, hitting at about 200 yards. It's a lower velocity impact, and it results in a much more soft point-like expansion of the bullet. At this point, I want to give a shout out to Tim at Tech Savvy Optics. He is the vendor here in North Texas that is loaning me the optics for this hunt, and without his help, this hunt would not have been possible. And Carpe Canis, as you can tell, I'm lip squeaking for coyotes. I think I've got 3 in the field. I've been watching them move about, sit down for a while, and now I'm zoomed in to 4 power, and I've got their little heads popping up occasionally. I can't squeak and shoot at the same time. And look at the coyotes pop up. Just off of that one. But I connect on the run with this one. He gets lucky a second time. I go back to my wounded coyote. Hit him. And finally, nice broadside shot. He goes down. And I believe I've got 3 coyotes down in the field out of 4 or 5 that were present. I spent 30 minutes walking through a field of stickers trying to find these coyotes, never found them. When I came back the next day, there weren't any buzzards on the field, and I said to heck with it, and the buzzards will find them later. Carpe sus, my friends.